After a tough loss last night, the Phillies are right back at it here in Arizona for Game 2 of this 3-game series. Another hot day. The roof is closed. NBC Sports Philadelphia, home of the authentic fan, presents the Phils and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Ben Davis. Already a lot of activity in Major League Baseball, which we'll get you up to date on as we get set for tonight's ball game. But the Phillies have a tough one to deal with tonight in right-hander Zack Greinke, who just seems like as this season has gone on, he has gotten better and better.
You get older, you get wiser. That's what we always hear, right? Well, he's getting wiser in how he pitches. He's got 4 pitches, T-Mac, and he will use them all. He'll use them at any count. But he doesn't have that good velocity anymore. He's sitting with an average velocity of just about 89 miles per hour, believe it or not. But he's gotten better with his off-speed pitches. When he misses down or off the plate. He aims small, he misses small. Zack Greinke has been dominant, and I mean dominant, over his last 8 starts.
All right, so you take a look at those numbers. The opposition hitting just 200 against him. He has 53 strikeouts in 52 1/3, so he's not overpowering with his fastball, but he is overpowering with his secondary pitches, and that's something from a discipline standpoint that the Phillies will have to deal with tonight against the Diamondbacks. Meanwhile, for the Phillies on the opposite side, it's Nick Pivetta making his start. Now, Lowe's, our whole team together, the lowest team earned run averages. The Phillies and the Diamondbacks are right there with the Los Angeles Dodgers, and part of that has been because of what the Phillies have done over the last 8 days or so. But really, if you look back throughout this season, the young guys have stepped it up. Pivetta was very good early. Now, hopefully, he's able to put together a start tonight like he did last time against the Marlins.
What I like about this start against the Marlins is that he made the adjustments from the previous start against the Reds. He got hurt with his breaking ball, and he fixed the breaking ball. It was better when he missed down or off the plate. He obviously has that big arm. He can throw it by you at times, but I think Nick Pivetta is going to be a work in progress, but the reason the Phillies are in the place they are is because of the starting rotation.
All right, so the last 7 games, these are some of the best numbers we've seen all year long. The opposition hitting just 172, 39 strikeouts, and an earned run average of 1.64. The other part of it, too, which I think is huge, and they're going to need this tonight, they're averaging 6 1/3 innings per outing for the starting pitchers. So tonight is Game 2 of this 3-game series. It'll be Pivetta against Zack Greinke. For Pivetta, his 23rd start. For Greinke, his 22nd start. When we return, we'll go to the NBC Sports Philadelphia studios. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest internet in Philadelphia. By Toyota, the national clearance event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. By Citizens Bank, official bank of the Phils. Visit citizensbank.com. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at ibx.com. Bills for the 13th time in his big league career. 108 degrees outside, 81 degrees inside with the roof closed. Let's take a look at the Phillies lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest internet provider according to speedtest.net. Well, for the Phillies, it's pretty much the same lineup that we saw in last night's ball game. It includes Asdrubal Cabrera, who has unbelievable numbers against Zack Greinke for his career. 429 with a triple, 3 doubles, and 3 runs batted in. And there is Greinke, now 34 years old, 12-6 with an earned run average under 3. Some people have argued that it's his best season in a while. It's certainly his best year right now. It's on pace for with the Arizona Diamondbacks.
He's got a sub-3 ERA. Look at the numbers. You talked about his last 8 starts in the Open, but he has been very good against these fighting Phils. 8-2 with a 2.9 ERA. Will sit about 89 with that fastball, and he will throw all 4 pitches.
All right, so Cesar leads things off. Cesar was 1 for 6 last night with 4 strikeouts, and the first pitch of the night is in there for a strike, and there's that fastball that Ben was talking about at 88 miles an hour. Cesar is 7 for 18 against the Diamondbacks this year. That includes last night, and he lines a single to left center field, and that's the perfect way to start the ball game. So leadoff hitter is aboard for the Phillies, and Rhys Hoskins is coming up.
It's so key for the Phillies to get him on base. Just adds a different dimension, and you always like to have runners on when this man comes to the plate.
Hoskins is 0 for his last 10. That includes 0 for 5 last night, but overall 22 home runs, 72 runs batted in. He was 0 for 3 against Greinke earlier this year. Had a breaking ball down and away. It's 1-0. Greinke in his last outing, he went 6 innings, 4 hits, and 2 earned runs. The Diamondbacks wound up losing that game 8-1 as he matched up against Madison Bumgarner. But his teammates allowed 5 runs when he left the game. 2 balls and no strikes.
Perfect example there of Greinke. If he's going to miss, he's going to miss off the plate. 1-0 fastball. He's not leaving a pitch on the plate that Rhys Hoskins can get to.
On the inside corner, and it's 2-1. That ball, I mean, I know it's a slider at 83, but it had more of a cut action than it did slider action. There was a point, I was reading a story today about Greinke where StatCast had him throwing six different pitches during a game. They charted 6 different pitches.
He's out there inventing stuff.
Well, and it doesn't even include his fastball, which he does deviate the speed with. You know, you talked about his average fastball about 89 now, but he can get it up into the low 90s. It's just that he doesn't do it that often.
Amazing, all the games that he's pitched, all the innings that he's logged. He was out in the bullpen today at 550 around there, just going through his dry windup, not throwing the pitch, but just going through trying to repeat the mechanics. These guys have their routines and they stick to them.
Well, Hoskins is ahead, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Cesar does not run, and the pitch is hit foul off to the right. And Williams waits on deck. Cesar did not run, and he still doesn't get that aggressive secondary lead as the pitch comes in. But his style works. And ball 4. That'll put runners on first and second. That's an unbelievable eye by Rhys Hoskins.
Yeah, just 6 walks in his last 52 innings for Zack Greinke, and he issues one here to Rhys.
Time now for our Nissan upgrade. Upgrade to the technology of tomorrow today. And the career earned run average leaders for the Diamondbacks. Randy Johnson is 1, Kurt Schilling is 2, and Greinke is number 4, ahead of the hatchet man Josh Colmenter. And Brandon Webb is right ahead of him. Talk about a career that was derailed because of injuries. Oof. Brandon Webb was destined to be a pretty good pitcher.
Sinker after sinker.
Elbow and shoulder problems derailed him. 1 ball and no strikes to Williams, who was 0 for 6 last night with a couple of strikeouts. He takes a strike and it's 1-1. Greinke's pitches that he's used this year, dominated by the 4-seam fastball, of course. I was surprised when I saw that and saw the curve was less than the slider, but we've already seen that today. Williams lofts it out to left field. Peralta is under it, and he makes the catch. Cesar draws the throw, and 1 out here in the first. And here's Carlos Santana.
First baseman, number 41, Carlos Santana.
Carlos has 3 hits in his career against Zach Greinke, 2 doubles, and 1 RBI. Last night he was 1 for 4 with 2 walks. At a curveball, and it's in there. 0-1. 71 miles an hour. Now he'll throw his curveball in the 60s.
Talk about all those walks. The Phillies ranked 2nd in all of Major League Baseball at a walk rate of 9.9%. The best of the Dodgers at 10%.
Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Nobody grunts like Zach Greinke when he delivers a pitch. Swing and a miss, 1-2. That was 70 miles an hour.
This is a slow one. Carlos way out in front.
He was way out in front of that. He could have come back and took a swing again. Phillies trying to get on the board here in the top of the first. They've scored 55 runs in the first inning of games this year. And there's a liner out to right field. Souza's coming on. He'll make the catch. And the runners will go back. So 2 outs with runners on first and second, and now is Drupal Cabrera.
Shortstop, number 13.
Be nice to put at least 1 on the board here in the first inning after getting the first 2 runners on. Nobody out. We talked about it's Drubal's numbers against Greinke. Right man, right spot, huh?
Zach Greinke kind of called Mathis out to the mound. I don't know if he was unhappy about something, because he was somewhat demonstrative after that catch was made. Looks like he's pretty calm right now. I don't know if you can ever say that Zach Greinke's not calm. He's just different.
He's different. Very good athlete. He may have been the first pitcher all season. I mean, all season that didn't cover his mouth with his glove to talk to the catcher.
As Drubel takes strike one, it's 0-1. He's definitely got his little fidgets down. Goes to his hat a couple of times with his fingertips, trying to get them dried off. Inside. One ball and one strike to Cabrera. Cabrera was 1 for 3 last night, lifted late in the game for Scott Kingery. There's a strike at the knees, 1-2.
That's exactly what Greinke can do. He can lull you to sleep. You end up taking more fastballs than you swing at.
Curveball in the dirt, 2-2. Pivetta waiting for his chance to get out there, but he'll take a run of support here in the first inning. Back, and it remains 2-2. Phillies last night, they were 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position beginning in the 9th inning. Part of that, and it was a huge difference to the Diamondbacks, because the Diamondbacks obviously had opportunities. The Phillies didn't, because the D-backs pen retired 13 straight at one point. Phillies did not have any hits after Franco's single in the 9th inning. Bouncing ball foul.
The Phillies overall just 7 hits in 14 innings.
Outside, 3-2, so the runners will be off. He tried to pink that fastball against his Drubel. Odubel's on deck.
See a couple hooks at 70, 71. That looked like the fastest 88 I've ever seen.
Runners do not go as Greinke spins back for the 3rd time in this inning. There's really nobody covering up second base. Little cat and mouse between Greinke and Cabrera. The runners go, and the pitch outside. Ball 4. Second walk for Greinke. And the bases are now loaded here in the first for Odubel Herrera. Mike Butcher's going to go out and talk to his right-hander. Take a look at the last 2 pitches, basically in the same spot. I mean, right on top of each other.
That's amazing. There's a lot of bullpens that you want to get into, and this isn't particularly one of those because the Diamondbacks have such a good bullpen. But you take a look at this number right here, 24 pitches already for Zach Greinke. He's only going to add to that here in the first. Good thing for the Phillies offense. It'll be even better to get a 2-out tally here.
At the plate, center fielder, number 37.
All right, so they've already used 2 trips to the mound in this half inning. And now Odubel, who is 4 for 11 against Greinke. Odubel hits it out towards center field, but it's right at A.J. Pollock. And he'll get out of it. A fly ball on the first pitch. The Phillies leave them loaded. We leave for the bottom of the first. Phillies nothing. Diamondbacks coming up.
And season tickets are on sale now for 2000.
It's an April victory over the Dodgers. David Peralta had a pretty good feeling, Murph, after winning that ball game for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, he said afterwards it was one of the best feelings he's ever had. He has never done that, he said, at any level. He's never had a walk-off here in the bigs, in the minor leagues, or even in independent ball. And what a second half of the ball game he had. Ben, you were talking a little bit about it last night. He started off slowly, but he is the first player in the modern era with 4 hits and 2 home runs after the 9th inning. All of that coming after the 9th inning, and also the first player in the modern era with 11 total bases, all coming in the 9th inning and after. So David Peralta certainly made his presence felt late in that game, and he walked it off for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Talked to Gabe Kapler today about that, and he said, isn't baseball amazing? Because obviously, if you are, sometimes I think most players are this way. You have games where you're not mentally strong. So if you go 0 for 3, you're done. I mean, you're truly done.
Truly done. And to face someone like Sir Anthony Dominguez in the 9th inning, a guy with plus stuff, and go up there and hit a home run. Next thing you know, your team ties it up, and you get 3 more at bats, and you get knocks in all 3 of those at bats as well.
1 ball and 1 strike to Peralta, and he fouls it back to the screen. There's Sir Anthony Dominguez. Not available tonight after after his pitches last night. Hopefully they don't need him with the vet out on the mound. Yeah, the 1-2 pitch coming to Peralta. Breaking ball, he went around. And if he has that breaking pitch tonight, then it's going to be a good night for Nick Pivetta.
Absolutely, and that's always key for Nick Pivetta, is get ahead and then just go for the punch out. Go for the jugular. This is a good breaking ball here. Nice block by Jorge. It's a good start to this ball game for Nick Pivetta.
One out for Pivetta. It's 142 strikeouts in 113 2/3 innings. And he delivers low to Goldschmidt.
And that's exactly what that plus velocity does for your breaking ball. You have to respect the velocity. You can't hold up if you don't recognize spin on that curveball.
Swing and a miss. 96 on that one. Whacks it foul, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Phillies have this alignment for Paul Goldschmidt. It's similar to the alignment that they had with the outfielders when they faced the Diamondbacks earlier this year. And Gabe Kapler said he hopes that Goldschmidt sees it, because they're kind of screwing with his head a little bit by shifting Odubel over into right center the way he is, and Williams over to right field. Although I will say Goldschmidt has some of the best opposite field power that we've seen in the National League. Well, there you go. That's not power, but it's a base hit. Second hit of the series for Goldschmidt. Right through the vacant hole on the right side.
Man, flat out hit.
So Goldschmidt's aboard. Here's A.J. Pollock, who was a pinch hitter last night. He was 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter. Pivetta, who is from Victoria, British Columbia, went to junior college at New Mexico Junior College in Hobbs, New Mexico, which is about a 9-hour ride from here in Phoenix. Gets that curveball over, and it's 0-1 to Pollock. Pollock did not play last night. He's been off the last couple of days. Torey Lovullo called it lower body tiredness, which has caused Pollock to have the last couple of days off. Wait until he's 50. So we get a miss. 0-2. Many people, when Torey Lovullo said it, kind of looked at him with an awkward look. And he said, listen, I'm happy that he told me about it. He's fatigued right now, so we figure we give him a couple of days off.
It's tough.
Get your tongue out of your cheek there, Ben Davis.
Tough roving that outfield.
No balls and 2 strikes. And a hot shot, foul down the left field line. Well, that curveball hung a little bit.
It did.
He's fortunate that he pulled it foul.
He is an exceptional player, but it's always been a problem of keeping him on the field. That's like, it sounds like the hockey injury, lower body injury, upper body injury.
Well, there you would imagine there would be some.
Not lower body tiredness.
Swing and a miss. Got him with a high fastball. Second strikeout for Pivetta. And 2 outs. Let's take a look at the rest of the Diamondbacks lineup, brought to you by Xfinity. David Peralta, Paul Goldschmidt have already batted. So is Pollock. But Escobar is up now. And then Steven Souza Jr. Ketel Marte, boy, he's fast. He's got 10 triples this year. He'll bat 6th. Here is Escobar. Escobar already has a career high 41 doubles. His 37 doubles lead the American League, even though he's now in the National League. Last night he had 2 of those doubles. It's a fastball fouled on the left field line. Swing and a miss. 0-2. I mentioned Pivetta has 142 strikeouts, which has him sit 7th in the National League. Max Scherzer leads the way. He has over 200. He got a no decision tonight for the Nationals in Game 2. Greinke's among the leaders too. He's number 4. 0-2 fastball runs high.
You might see Nick go back to that breaking ball right here. Maybe even bounce it. An awful lot of concern to Goldschmidt at first base.
Kind of like Greinke with Cesar at second base.
There it was. Nice job by Jorge. That was a much better job of getting over top with his chest. He smothers it right at home plate. That lateral movement. See how he squares up with his chest protector, and look, the ball goes right back towards home plate. Excellent job right there by Alfaro.
Little tapper, and it remains 2-2. Souza waits on deck. Out to center field. Odubel's on the run, and he is there. Side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. We're on to the second. Michael Franco will lead it off when we get back.
98.7 FM.
the culture both Howie Roseman and Doug Peterson have created for the Birds and more. Listen to his Rube Knows podcast on NBCSportsPhiladelphia.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Michael Franco hits one fouled on the right field line and out of play as we start the top of the second inning. .25 pitches for Greinke in the first. There's the 0-1. Nope. Greinke said it was his bad. Michael, since the 17th of June, 10 home runs, 25 runs batted in. Continued last night when he picked up a couple more hits. It's brought his average up to 278, which among the starters for the Phillies is the highest. Ground ball over to third. Escobar is up with it. On the out-of-town scoreboard, game one between the Braves and the Nationals went to Washington 8-3. Game two, meanwhile, this was a good pitcher's duel, but Atlanta wins it 3-1. Jesse Biddle, he gets the win. He pitched really well in relief. I mean, his ball was moving. So the standings look like this in the National League East. The wins and losses change, but nothing else. But if the Phillies win this game, they will change. Alfaro pops it foul and out of play. Alfaro 254 with 7 home runs, 26 runs batted in. Talking to Gabe before the ball game, we were kind of rehashing last night's game, which was a tough loss, no doubt about it. The Phillies had a 2-0 lead. Talked about the top of the 9th inning when the Phillies had first and third with nobody out, and Alfaro struck out, and then Knapp hit into a double play. Swing and a miss. And Gabe kind of gets the, once the game is over with, he sits back and he thinks about it and thinks a lot about it and breaks it down with the charts they have, the numbers they have. He reads a lot of articles. He reads the players' quotes. So we're talking about that inning in particular, how important it was to get a run. And even if Alfaro had made contact, and he went back to the old line that people have said for so many years. He said, that's baseball.
Right. You expect him to do it, but it just doesn't always work out that way.
It doesn't always work out that way.
And I found it, when I say that they have a number or a stat for everything, it's when he brought up Andrew Knapp and why Andrew Knapp hit in that particular situation. First and third, 1 out.
Because he doesn't hit in double plays.
In 106 opportunities, Andrew Knapp only hit into 6.
Counting last night.
Counting last night.
Alfaro strikes out.
And that is a truly remarkable number.
Yeah, now the Phillies bench depth, it's not vast. I mean, we know that.
43, Nick.
But Andrew has been one of the better hitters off the bench. I mean, if you put it in perspective.
Right.
But yeah, they have numbers for every. I said that to him today, and we've been with them all year. Obviously, we've talked about a lot of those numbers, but they have tendencies for everything. There's Roman Quinn, who came in last night as part of a defensive replacement. Check swing, 3-2. And Pivetta works out a walk. That's the third walk issued by Greinke. That's a whale of an at bat.
Second baseman.
That's incredible.
I mean, how good has Greinke been with this? Greinke has walked 2 or fewer in 20 of his 23 starts coming in. And he's already got 3 tonight, including the pitcher. Well, here's Cesar, who singled his first time up.
You know who else grunts a lot? Is on this ball club, Robbie Ray.
He got it from Greinke.
Copycatter.
Well, I mean, for Robbie Ray too, he felt like he wasn't getting enough on his pitches, and he said by grunting it forces him to, at least psychologically, it forces him to put a little bit more on his pitches. Now sometimes it equates to an extra mile per hour, but he feels like it does add to how hard he throws.
Like me on the tee box.
No. He hit it harder than all of us anyway, so I mean, again, it's perspective.
I do it more for you guys. You get a kick out of it.
2 balls and 1 strike. I mean, did you ever catch somebody that grunted like this?
Yes, Sterling Hitchcock.
Oh, did he really?
He did. And he would do it on all his pitches.
He didn't throw this hard.
Hitch would throw in the low 90s,
Yeah.
90, 92. But he'd do it on his fastball, his changeup, on his splitter. Jamie would do it.
Yeah, Jimmy would do it. Three balls and 1 strike now to Hernandez.
Got to come in here with a pitch. He's got to. That man looming on deck.
Ball 4. That's 4 walks for Greinke.
He keeps wrapping his arms around his. It's like he can't get loose.
Yeah, as if he's trying to stretch himself
Yeah.
out. Now, we just mentioned the Nationals. They'll be in town Monday, August 27th till Wednesday, August 29th. All 3 games are 7:05. You know what we need? We need the ballpark to be as loud as it has been in years when the Nats come in. Go to Phillies.com to order your tickets right now. I know we're getting closer to the start of school. In fact, some places at that point will have started. In fact, the Davis house, they're going to start the 27th in Pennsylvania.
Beautiful day.
I don't know if you're getting that kind of look from our partner next to us right now. You've already ruined his vacation, I think. Hoskins pops up the breaking ball foul and out of play. It's 0-1. Go ahead, Teg. Make the face you just made for your dad when we said that school starts on the 27th. You weren't smiling. You're smiling.
Definitely
now.
we're not smiling.
No. You weren't happy when we said that school started on the 27th, were you? No. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know what I like about that? You said, why did Reese swing at a first pitch breaking ball? It's because he hasn't been able to command that fastball. And I think he went up there looking for a breaking ball. He got it, had a really good swing on it, just fouled it off. That's smart. If you know, if he's maybe just go to something else to try and get something back in the strike zone. That's what Greinke did.
Outside, 2-1. Well, this inning was all because of Pivetta's at bat. I mean, at that point, when he had 2 strikes on Pivetta, he was working on an 11-pitch inning after throwing 25 in the first. Well, that's all changed now. And you have to think about this logically. Greinke doesn't work deep into games anyway. So he's at 47 here in the second.
I think Pivetta might take off here from second.
Somebody thinks he might. Over to third base. Escobar backs up on it. Long throw across the diamond in time. And Greinke gets out of it again. He's walked 4 through the first 2 innings, but the Phillies have left 5. No runs, no hits, and 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the second.
All right, fans, we are getting ready for Gila River Hotels and Casinos.
Time now for the Ram Truck Stump the Fans trivia question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fans section for all the information. And please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, Ben, the question is, who are the only 3 pitchers all time with a Cy Young, a Gold Glove, and a Silver Slugger award? Cy Young, Gold Glove, and Silver Slugger.
I think I know 2 of them.
All right, well, you need 3.
I know.
Silver Slugger is for the best hitter at each position. Collective stats. And they even give them to pitchers.
Hey, I wonder if there's anybody else who's about ready to go home. I just wanna
Here's Steven Souza Jr. to lead it off in the bottom of the second. Got a first pitch fastball from Pivetta down and away. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Curveball, 1-1. Looks like more curves than sliders so far tonight.
Came in tonight 23% with the curveball, 15.7% with the slider. I think since that game in Cincinnati, he's gone to that curveball more. He got hit with that slider quite a bit in that game. I think I remember the first 6 hits of that ball game were on breaking balls.
Did we just hear a Fournier Humbe?
Think we didn't?
Outside, 3-2.
I prefer the hum babe followed up by the hum you.
Hey, kid. Tried another curveball and remains 3-2. It'll be Souza, Ketel Marte, and Nick Ahmed for the Diamondbacks. Arizona came into today's ball game leading the Dodgers by a half game. The National League West, Dodgers are playing the Oakland A's.
A couple games ago, Tom, I said that I've never seen more 3-2 breaking balls than I have this season. I think Nick is the one who throws the most.
And a strike 3 called. 97 on that fastball. 3 strikeouts for Pivetta. Souza had to know it, right? He was just trying to sell it.
Trying to sell it.
Beautiful pitch. Maybe he thought it was a little low.
Or he actually had to reach back out over the plate to get it.
Oh, with one away, here's Ketel Marte. Marte with 10 triples this season. Got a first pitch just a bit low. His 10 triples are 1 more than Yomar Sanchez of the White Sox for the major league lead. And 3 more, or 2 more than Chris Taylor of the Dodgers for the National League lead. 2 balls, no strikes. And it's 2-1.
This is a good park to hit triples in. It really is.
Part of that is 413 and 407 out towards center field.
We saw a Dubas ball he hit right in this direction out here last night. Man, he made it to third base easily, and the ball was scolded.
Foul tip, 3-2.
That is the easiest 97 that you're going to see. Out towards short, past the diving Cabrera. And Marte will take a big turnaround first and hold up there.
That is the second hit for the Diamondbacks. And now it's time for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. And you want to talk about being built for baseball? Well, congratulations go out to Phil Sheridan, our manager of clubhouse services, and his beautiful wife, Jen. Jen gave birth earlier today to Shane William Sheridan. Phil texted me today and said, Jen and baby are healthy and happy, and dad is looking forward to never retiring.
That's so true. Congratulations, guys.
That is baby number 8. Nick Ahmed takes inside, 1 ball and no strikes. One ball and no strikes to Ahmed. Ahmed was 1 for 5 last night with a walk. Better try to roll a double play ball here. Ahmed shows bunt, takes a strike, 1-1. And that's strictly bunting for a base hit. I can't imagine that a 244 with 16 home runs, 57 RBI hitter is going to bunt with a 208 and a pitcher up next.
No chance.
Jeff Mathis on deck. Toward the middle, that could be 2. Cabrera takes it to the bag, throws to first. That's a beauty. 6-3 double play. No runs, 1 hit, and nobody left. Pavetta's got 40 pitches in his back pocket through the first 2 innings. We move to the 3rd. Nick Williams will lead it off when we come back.
Skiing or snowboarding?
Thankfully, they moved along from sitting out in the warning track because we had to continue with the game. Murph, I know that Patrick was going to let you drive at one point. Did you get behind the wheel or no?
No, I did not.
Oh.
I don't think he was ever going to let me drive.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so. They sized me up and said, nope. No kart for you.
Gosh, we need one of those. I asked Neshek today, Pat Neshek today about it. I said, you know, I thought maybe you'd get in and out. Ooh, Williams crushes one. A deep right field. Souza's back. It is gone. Just beyond his outstretched glove. And he slammed into the fence. The Phillies take a 1-0 lead here in the top of the third.
Shows the kind of bat speed that Nick Williams has. He doesn't even get all of it and still has enough to get it on out of here. I think he caught it off the end. And Souza went down hard.
First baseman, Carlos Santana.
Yeah, just off the end. But he has got some bat speed. See Souza Jr. going back, and it's like his left shoulder got caught up on that yellow part of the fencing at the top.
It was a heck of an effort.
This wasn't back there in enough time.
Well, that home run was the 16th of the year for Nick Williams. He now has 44 RBIs, and the Phillies take a 1-0 lead. And here's Carlos Santana. And Santana sends one the opposite way and out of play, and it's 0-1. Well, our thanks to Patrick Kurish for taking Murph on a little spin with that bullpen car. I think it's something that's cool that obviously we're seeing pop up in two different ballparks. Milwaukee doesn't really use it. They have it, but they don't use it. But it's only being used really here.
I think, Murph, your answer to the what kind of engine, I think it's just a car battery.
I was trying to ask like real probing questions.
Yeah. There's a liner out to center field. How many guys have used it, Murph?
That's my style of interview. How many guys? I think they said 15.
Oh, 50, really?
Yeah,
that many?
and whenever they do, they sign it. There you see it.
Oh, okay,
you
cool.
go. I think that's Colin McHugh there.
Very cool.
Yeah. And he told us that Patrick told us he got a 5-star rating. There it is.
There's that 5-star rating. Yeah.
There it is. He wasn't lying.
Well, I asked Pat Neshek about it. He said, you know, it's so short here to run in that I kind of like the adrenaline rush of running in. He said if it was a little farther away, I might consider it. And by the way, Patrick Kurish is the brother of Daniel Kurish, who is a former Callis Award winner.
That's right.
Daniel won it back in 2012. Daniel's is a LaSalle graduate who was from here. And Patrick, who we last saw in San Diego, is now part of the media relations staff here in Arizona. 2 balls and no strikes to Cabrera. Two balls and 1 strike. Another one the opposite way. That'll slice toward the crowd and out of play. And it's 2-2. A few more people out in the pool area tonight. Nobody taking a dip, though. To the right side. And Escobar will throw out Asdrubal Cabrera. So 5-3 on the putout. And 2 away. Enhance your next game day experience with the MLB Ballpark app. Access and manage your tickets. Enjoy check-in offers exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. The run is in. 2 outs in the top of the third. And Odubel, who flied out to center field his first time up, is the hitter. One ball and 1 strike.
And that's some paint there.
Greinke, in an article that appeared earlier this year, was asked about his pitching style and the number of pitches he throws. And he said he would give back all of his pitches if he could add 5 or 6 more miles per hour to his fastball, which I thought was surprising, because I think as he's gotten older, he's been able to maintain.
Right.
Because his fastball has been diminished, but he's been able to keep his other pitches. You know, there's not as much of a deviation between the fastball and the changeup, but I was a little surprised to hear that.
I was too.
He told Joe Posnanski of MLB.com, who's done a ton of stories on Greinke over the years. Bouncing ball back toward the middle. Marte surrounds it.
Wow.
And throws out Odubel with some authority.
Strong arm there, huh?
Phillies do get a run, though. Nick Williams from the number 3 spot in the order. He smashes this one just beyond the glove of Steven Souza and right. And it's 1-0 Phils as we head to the bottom of the third. The lottery's latest scratch-off, Neon. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. And by Nissan, shop ChooseNissan.com. It's a beautiful sunset out here in the west. Temperature today hit 111. That was the highest I saw, which is a little cooler than yesterday. As Jeff Mathis fouls the first pitch back. It's no balls and 1 strike. Oh, 2. 95 on that fastball from Pivetta. Beautiful pitch. I think Mathis was looking for something else. That's 4 strikeouts for Pivetta. And 1 away here in the 3rd.
2 swinging, 2 looking. Pitch down the zone. It's on the plate.
They changed the arm or the eye level of the hitter. Here's Greinke. Greinke has the 3rd highest batting average among pitchers in baseball this year at 267. German Marquez is the leader, and then Max Scherzer's number 2. Oh, and 2. Down the right field line, foul. Greinke, who started out his professional career as a shortstop with the Kansas City Royals, he was kind of a two-way player, which obviously doesn't happen that often, although we're seeing with Ohtani. But after his first workout as a shortstop in professional baseball, he handed his glove to Andres Blanco and said, "I'm done." And that's how he became a pitcher. As Santana flips to Pivetta covering, 3-1 on the putout. Whitey said he used the glove the entire year.
Really?
David Peralta's coming up. He provides us with our Geico quote of the day. "This was my first walk-off homer. I always wondered how it feels to hit a walk-off homer, and it's something you can't describe. It's emotional. I knew it was hit pretty well, but it was the deepest part of the park. So to see the ball go out of the park, it was a big relief." Well, his real estate might be off a little bit.
A little bit.
But it was still a shot.
Might need a new agent.
1-0. Trying to sell it, Ben. It's 1 day old and the home run got longer.
Yeah.
Imagine what it's going to be in 10 years.
I bet you he goes fishing too.
Line drive past Franco. So Peralta is aboard with 2 outs.
A nice piece of hitting.
First baseman, Paul Goldschmidt.
What a moment.
We've talked about this. How many did you have in your career? Walk-offs. You had a walk-off base hit, right?
Walk-off. I did hit a walk-off in AAA. That was kind of cool, but it's just AAA.
Well, since none of us play AAA.
Well, I mean, it's the difference is a lot greater.
Yeah.
But I mean, to do it at this level is just unbelievable. Especially in a ball game like last night, 14 innings. You don't know how long it's going to go.
1 ball and 1 strike to Goldschmidt. And of course, he got Gatorade.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Jeez and Christmas.
That's a lot of ice.
Poor. She got crushed.
I think she thought she avoided it because the first one kind of missed her.
I can't say that I'm a huge fan of that when you get the reporters involved.
Murph, you got a comment on that?
I just ignore him.
Oh, he's looking out for you.
Oh, I'm looking out for you, bud.
Thanks, Ben.
They're down there doing their job. Next thing you know, they have a giant block of ice hitting them and Gatorade going all over.
Murph has never had a block of ice hit him.
What is that, Gatorade dumped on him?
Although the Hamels no-hitter, right, there was ice water.
Yeah, we got doused pretty good on that one.
Yeah.
It was the pies back in the day that.
Oh yeah, the pies. Shaving cream.
Yeah.
Not whipped cream. 3-1 to Goldschmidt with a runner at first. Fills up 1-0 here in the bottom of the third. Runner will be off on this pitch. Pastime drops a 3-2 breaking ball in there. Runner goes. Pitch is fouled off to the right. Well, that's 20 foul balls. I should say 19 foul balls for Pivetta, which is kind of added to his pitch count. He's at 60 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Now the Phillies did add Ediel de Los Santos to the roster today because they wanted to have some more depth and some length in the bullpen. So Dylan Cousins was optioned back to AAA. Runner goes, the 3-2 pitch. Popped up, back of first. Santana in foul territory, puts it away. And Pivetta works out of it again. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. We played 3. It's the Phillies 1 and the Diamondbacks nothing.
Fans collect.
Greaser, pine cleaner, and pot and pan detergent. You name it, WB Mason has it all. Free delivery and no minimum order. Nobody does it better than WB Mason. Well, nothing Phillies. Let's take a look at Nick Williams' home run. StatCast AI, powered by AWS.
Exit velo at 97 miles per hour, launch angle at 30, projected distance 369 feet, or far enough.
Michael Franco pops the first pitch up down the right field line. Everybody over, and Marte runs it down. He was really the only one that could run it down.
He had a long way to go. He talked about all his triples. You know he can boogie.
Catcher, Jorge Alfaro.
And here's Jorge Alfaro, who struck out his first time up. Swing and a miss. 3 pitches, and Alfaro strikes out for the second time.
Slider here.
Pitcher, Nick Pivetta.
With 2. That's the slowest of the night. It must have been low.
Nick's up there keyholing him.
And strike 3. And back-to-back strikeouts for Greinke. He works his first 1-2-3 inning. We move to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Phils nursing a 1-run lead.
And tennis time.
Dealers and buy WB Mason. Who bought WB Mason? For fast, free delivery. Nobody does it better. Bottom of the fourth inning, the Phillies up 1-0. And A.J. Pollock will lead it off. It'll be Pollock, Eduardo Escobar, and Steven Souza against Nick Pivetta. Phillies trying to get to their 64th victory. They're 63-49. 38-18 at home and 25-31 on the road. Be nice to get that road record up toward the 500 mark. Pollock takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Be nice to get a 12-pitch inning right here out of Nick.
Oh, 2. 94 on that fastball. In the dirt, 1-2. C.B. Buckner, the first base umpire. Toward the hole, past the diving Franco, and Pollock is aboard with a leadoff single. Well, the National League East rival, the New York Mets, will come to town for 4 games in just 3 days, beginning Thursday, August 16th, with a doubleheader. First game starts at 4:05. Friday the 17th, that's a 6:05 start, and the Old Dominion postgame concert will follow. Saturday the 18th, IBW Local 98, Jake Arrieta nickname T-shirt given to kids 14 and under. There's Jake, who pitched so well last night. 8 innings, did not get the win. Going back looking at some of his numbers, he had 4 strikeouts and scattered 3 hits. Changeup was really good. Just movement on everything was really good last night. That was pretty close to being a strike.
Yeah. A lot of dancing out of the way.
Off the hands, out towards center. That'll drop for a base hit. Pollock will stop at second. And the Diamondbacks now have runners on first and second with nobody out.
Yeah. Hey, I wonder if there's anybody else.
Whereas Dribble needed to be
Who's about ready to go home.
Cal Ripken's size.
I just wanna
Well, just getting over the top of his glove.
Souza struck out looking his first time up. And he delivers a strike to him. It's 0-1. That fastball is at 95. Pavetta's maxed out at over 97 miles an hour tonight. His average fastball is just a hair under 96. Every time a Phillies pitcher records a pitch of 95 miles per hour or more, and for Pivetta, he's done it on the last 2 pitches. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest internet in Philadelphia.
Can't see the signals right here from Jorge.
You know, the dome stadiums, it is a little darker.
Yeah. See Jorge run through him a little slower.
See the shadows there.
Happens a lot too with guys that wiggle the bat in front of the plate. That's part of the way they get ready for the pitch.
Bouncer back toward the middle. Cesar waits for it on the bag and records the double play. You know, for a moment I thought maybe it was hit too soft, but it was hit right at the second base bag, and Souza Jr. does not run all that well. So 2 outs. Second double play of the night for Pivetta. Got a runner at third for Ketel Marte.
You're not out of the woods yet, but that can be a rally killer, the double play. And there's tailor-made double plays, and then there's this one. 2 hopper right to Cesar, right on the bag. 4-3 double play. Thing of beauty.
Marte swings at the first pitch and he pops it up into shallow right center. Cesar's backpedaling. Here comes Odubel, and with some authority he makes the call on the catch, and that'll wrap up the bottom of the 4th. No runs, 2 hits, and 1 man left. We'll head to the 5th. The Phils still on top, 1-0.
Here at Chase Field, the Arizona Diamondbacks and Coldstone Creamery.
Play has been a big fan for Nick Pivetta tonight.
It really is a pitcher's best friend. Oriole in the ball game, a 6-3 double play off Ahmed, and then off the bat of Steven Souza Jr., a 4-3 double play. They're your Hyundai defensive plays of the game, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
Cesar Hernandez begins the 5th, and what a play by Goldschmidt. A diving stop, 3-1 on the putout, and 1 away here in the top of the 5th inning.
This could be your Hyundai defensive play of the game as well.
Left field, Reese Hoskins.
3-1 on the putout. told by the production cavalry there's no addendums to the Hyundai defensive play of the game.
Well, if it were the Phillies, we could make an addendum.
There you go.
Hoskins is 0 for 1. He walked his first time up. Grounded out his last time. Got a curveball, 0-1. By the way, Reese's wrist is okay after slamming into the wall last night. Ball's hit sharply, and Marte backhands from the shortstop side. His natural position. 4-3 on the putout. 2 outs. Well, Nick Williams is coming up. He has provided the only spark offensively tonight.
Yeah, just off the end of his bat, 369 feet later, put the Phillies up 1-0. That's your home run replay brought to you by Giant.
Home run was his 16th of the year. 44 runs batted in. Oh, and 1. High fly ball to center field. And Pollock is out there to put it away. That's a 7-pitch 5th inning for Zach Greinke. He's retired 9 in a row since the home run by Nick Williams. Middle of the 5th. The Phillies 1 and the Diamondbacks nothing. Report Citizens Bank, the official bank of the Phils. Well, the Clearwater Threshers had the pitcher of the week, Mauricio Llovera, 6 2/3, 10 strikeouts, and Jose Pujols was the player of the week at .435 with 2 homers and 11 RBIs for the Reading Fightins. For Lehigh Valley tonight, Joey Meneses hit another home run. And he is just hitting one home run after another. They go to the bottom of the 5th inning with a lot of Phillies fans watching as the Phillies have a 1-0 lead. It'll be Nick Ahmed, Jeff Mathis, and Zach Greinke to face Nick Pivetta. First pitch swinging. Cabrera's up with it. One pitch, one away. Diamondbacks have a half-game lead over the Dodgers. As we mentioned, the Dodgers are up 3-0 over the Oakland A's. Now, they have 7 more games left against the Dodgers, 7 more against the Rockies. And they have a host of other games, too, within their division, but those are 2 of the important ones. They are 8-4 against the Dodgers this year, and they're 7-5 against the Rockies. So they're kind of taking care of the National League West. Colorado's 2 games back. San Francisco finds itself 6.5 games back in the division. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I really like Colorado's ball team. I do.
Well, their young pitching has been I mean, their offense is very good, but their young pitching, particularly since the All-Star break, has really been a huge factor in their success.
Yep.
I think one of the issues that the Diamondbacks have is that they have games left. They have 3 against the Astros. Not an easy team to beat. They have 3 against the Cubs, although they're 2-2 against the Cubs this year. They've got the Angels coming in, so they have the American League West that they have to face. And a fastball, strike 3 called. Mathis down looking for a second time. Yeah, that's 5 strikeouts for Pivetta. And here's Greinke.
Zach Greinke, big John Anderson fan, walking out the Seminole win.
Over to third. Big hop for Franco. Greinke, I'm not sure what he was doing, but Franco runs it all the way to the mound. Throws a 1-hopper. Greinke had already turned around and started walking back, and the inning is over. Well, I don't know. Guess he figured it was a sure out. We'll head to the 6th. It's 1-0 Phils.
Fans, it's time for the Century.
Roy Halladay came and left the Phillies family way too soon, but not without leaving us with lasting memories of his incredible abilities and determination on and off the field. Pat Gillick joined the Phils in 2005 and helped guide an organization on the rise to the highest peak of baseball in 2008. the highest level of respect for two men who now reside forever on the Phillies Wall of Fame. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. So we go to the top of the 6th inning. The Phillies won, the Diamondbacks nothing. I've heard from a few of the players that were in town this past weekend and how great a weekend it was for them. Talking about the Phillies fans and everything that they did to show their support this weekend during Toyota Alumni Weekend. It really was a great 3 days. They celebrated their 20th year this past weekend here at Chase Field. Carlos Santana leads it off, and a breaking ball drops in for strike one. It's 0-1. Santana has flied to right. He's flied to center.
How many times do we make the comment, Tom, when we see a lefty out on the mound? What would this guy, how many runs would he give up if he were right-handed? How many times have we said about a particular lefty doesn't throw hard? Zach Greinke is a right-handed left-hander that doesn't throw hard.
Just has an idea of what he's doing.
Just has a really good idea. And we've said that a lot of broadcasts. Said it in my career, like, what would happen if this guy were actually right-handed? He wouldn't make it through the third.
Well, remarkably, he had the 4 walks through the first 2 innings. You're thinking, man, he's got to be on the ropes, and he's only given up 2 hits and 1 run.
The Phillies have had a ton of traffic out there.
But he's now set down 9 straight. Curveball. He slowed up his motion. He slowed up the pitch. 65 miles an hour, the slowest one of the night. Yeah, that's his 4th strikeout. He's retired 10 straight. Cabrera's coming up. Time for our timeless moment. Here's Greg Murphy.
All right, thanks, Tom. Brought to you by Coors Banquet. August 7th, 1991, Mitch Williams notches a win, beating the Cubs 5-4 at the Vet in 11 innings. It was his 3rd victory in 3 consecutive games. He would tie an MLB record with 5 wins in 5 consecutive games. It all ended on August the 9th. 5 wins in 5 days for Mitch Williams. August 7th, 1991.
5-5. Cabrera takes outside. Two and one.
You know, yesterday was the anniversary of Tony Gwynn getting his 3,000th hit in Montreal.
Crowd of 5,000 on hand.
If that. I felt bad for him, you know.
Well,
I mean, I felt great for him that he finally did it.
There's a liner for a base hit for Cabrera. 3rd hit for the Phillies.
We all went out on the field. It was great. You know, his mom was there, got to see it. We all went out on the field, and you kind of look around, and it was kind of, was nobody there.
Did he have a chance to get it in San Diego before that?
That's a good question. I forget where we were. I know he had a couple different spots he could have gotten it. It was just, you know, with his knees and how bad they were, it was, you know, he had a hard time staying on the field. And I want to say there was a spot and he could have done it in St. Louis, which would have been cool. Obviously, if he could have been home in San Diego, it would have been the best.
Were his knees that bad at that time?
They were.
Odubel swing and a miss at a changeup.
Just to get him drained all the time.
They throw behind Cabrera, but he gets back. That was a 4-game series against the Expos. He had 4 hits that night. 4 for 5.
He could have.
Wow.
Tony doing Tony-like things.
You know what? It was a long road trip. You had 4 in St. Louis, and then you had 4 in Montreal, and then you wound up with 2 in New York. And he was pretty hot leading up to that. He only had a couple of hitless games in San Diego leading up to that. That was his 9th hit though on the road trip.
Remarkable.
2 balls, 1 strike to Herrera with a runner at first base here in the top of the 6th. And he slices that one out to left field. Peralta is over. And he makes the catch for the 2nd out. Odubel's 0 for 3. And here's Michael Franco, who's hitless in his first 2 at-bats.
Third baseman, Michael Franco.
Cabrera's caught off first, and he's out. I thought he got back. I was saying, fortunately, the ball was in the dirt and foul territory. Goldschmidt was able to get him. The Phils are going to take a look at it. I think he thought that ball got away from Mathis.
Almost like he was going to try a delayed steal.
No, Rob Thompson just said he's out. So the Phils have a runner picked off first.
I thought he initially got back because of the errant throw.
Oh, right there, his foot wasn't on the bag. 2-3 on the putout. We move to the bottom of the 6th. Store. Check out every new Ford car, truck, and SUV crossover at buyfordnow.com today. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Guy looks like he's sending an email on a BlackBerry with his Cardinals jersey, his Phillies hat. As Nick Pivetta starts the bottom of the 6th inning against the top of the order, David Peralta, who singled his last time. It's been a nice outing for Pivetta so far. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nick has struck out 5. He averages over 11 strikeouts per 9 innings, which is second only to Max Scherzer, who leads the National League in that category. Down and away, 3-1.
Changeup?
It looked like a changeup.
88.
Yep. I think that's the first changeup he's thrown tonight.
That's why it caught me off guard.
Comes back with a fastball that's fouled, and it's 3-2. Yep, that was the first changeup he threw tonight.
Wow.
How far his thumb got nicked on that foul ball.
Looked like it hit him in a bad spot.
Got him with a high fastball, 95. It's his 6th strikeout. Perfect placement. It's exactly where Alfaro wanted it. Thursday night, the world champion Eagles face the Steelers for their first game action of the season. Before and after every preseason game, watch Eagles pre and post game live. Bookend your Birds with our experts and their analysis all season long right here on NBC Sports Philadelphia. Backhanded by Cesar, who sets on the outfield grass. A one-hopper in time. That is a nice play by Cesar Hernandez. He went back to the old days when he was a shortstop to make that play.
Excellent play at shortstop by the second baseman.
Four 3 on the putout.
I didn't think he was going to get there, to be honest with you, but the ball was hit very hard, showing his range, sets his feet, and that bounce is on purpose. Smart. Excellent play. Nick Pivetta appreciates it.
There's Pollock, who is 1 for 2. One-two pitch coming. Inside 2-2. Luis Garcia starts to warm up in the pen. Pivetta is due up third in the top of the 7th inning. I think that intended to be, I don't know what it intended to be. I thought it intended to be a fastball. It popped up as a changeup. I think it just slipped out of his hand.
Hey, Creddy.
That's a slider.
Slider. They caught it on the bounce. Frame it up.
And ball 4. So Pollock walks. That is the first walk issued by Pivetta. Comes with 2 outs here in the 6th inning.
Third baseman,
And now Eduardo Escobar.
Tom, when you're talking about Escobar still leading the American League in doubles with 37. Remember when Willie McGee got traded? I had to look back at when he won. He got traded from the National League, the American League, but he still got awarded the National League batting title.
Out toward left field, Rhys Hoskins is there. Yeah, it doesn't happen often.
Back in 1990.
Doesn't happen often, but it does happen. That's more significant, I think, than the doubles.
Yeah.
No runs, no hits, and 1 man left. 6 in the books. We'll head to the 7th.
So let's head down to Vanessa in the
Time now for your Delaware Valley Honda dealers game summary. As we go to the top of the 7th inning, Nick Williams' home run in the 3rd inning is the only run tonight. Pivetta 6 innings, Greinke 6. Greinke's going to start the 7th inning. And he takes outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Pivetta, meanwhile, was getting congratulations in between innings. He really battled tonight. Only walked 1.
He was great. And they needed him to go 6.
1 ball and 1 strike. Opposite way for Franco, and it's right at Souza. Greinke's now only allowed the 1 hit since the home run by Nick Williams. Here's Alfaro. Greinke had 48 pitches, Ben, through the first 2 innings.
I know it.
And has 1 out now in the 7th inning. Here comes Mike Butcher. I think it's to allow somebody to start warming up in the bullpen for the Diamondbacks. They have a left-hander warming up. Jake Diekman. quick reminder that when the Phillies return home, they'll have an off day, and then on Tuesday the 14th, they take on the Boston Red Sox. It's the first of two. Both games are at 7:05. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com for the Red Sox and the Phils. Can't wait to look forward to. Can't wait to see all the folks coming down for that series. Alfaro has struck out twice. Lays off it. It's 1-0.
You a fan of the 2-game series?
Yeah, I'd prefer it to be 3. I mean, I know that the way the schedule is, you have to play some 2-game series. I think we play more now than we used to.
Yeah.
I'd prefer 3, though. First of all, if you're the visiting team, I mean, it's just weird to not totally get settled. Not that one day makes a huge difference. I mean, tomorrow's a day game here in Arizona. But it is nice to have, you know, a little continuity of a 3-game series. 2-0 pitch coming off Alfaro. 2-1. Alfaro's teammates today were marveling at the BP home runs that he was hitting, and one in particular that hit right under his name out in center field. Over to third, but right at Escobar. And Alfaro hustling up the line. Escobar took a beat. If he had taken even another half step, Alfaro would have beat that one. And now 2 outs, and here's Roman Quinn to pinch hit.
Number 24, Roman Quinn.
Hit one right into there as well.
The ones that everyone marveled at was right below where it says World Champions. Up top to the left.
Oh yeah, the one to left center field.
Off the right in this area, right there.
Yeah.
We got done, and Reese
I forgot
Hoskins,
about that one.
Reese Hoskins says, "Did you see that ball?" I mean, it was really incredible, incredible.
1 ball and 1 strike to Quinn.
Murph goes, "Oh, come on, Ben, you can hit one that far." I said, "Yeah, with my driver."
That is a shot. Somehow you got to let it translate into the game in some way. Quinn chops one out towards second base. Marte throws him out. Another 1-2-3 inning. Pivetta leaves with a 1-0 lead. We stretch here at Chase Field. The Phillies on top, 1-0 over the Diamondbacks.
7th inning stretch, so sing along with T-Max organist Bobby Freeman.
the second half ticket pack. The pack includes the last 6 home games in 2018, plus postseason ticket access, a pre-sale opportunity for the potential to purchase 2 postseason home games at Citizens Bank Park, plus priority access to the 2019 season tickets. Order your ticket pack now at Phillies.com or by calling 215-463-1000.
Pitching number 57, Luis Garcia.
All right, Luis Garcia is the first one out of the pen. The Phillies need 9 outs from their bullpen. The way Gabe Kapler talked today is that he felt like Pat Neshek would take the role of Sir Anthony Dominguez, which means that he could pitch the 9th inning, or depending on where they are in the lineup, he could pitch the 8th inning. But Garcia is the first one out. First pitch to Steven Souza is a slider, and it's 0-1. Phillies probably don't have Arano, Tommy Hunter, Sir Anthony. That's probably it, right?
Yes.
Those 3. But they have Eniel De Los Santos, who Gabe said he won't be afraid to use in some spots.
Conversely, if you're the Diamondbacks, you get 7 out of Zach Greinke tonight. If you would have told me that he would have thrown 7 innings and give up 1 run after those first 2 innings, I don't care what you would have bet me, I'd have taken that bet.
Yeah.
Talking with last night's pitcher, Zach Godley.
Two balls and 2 strikes. That's another slider, Ben.
Great save by Hextall.
Out toward left center field. It's not deep. Hoskins coming in, and it drops for a base hit. So Souza's aboard to start the 7th inning for the Diamondbacks. That's their 6th hit, and Marte is due up for Arizona.
A 3-2 breaking ball here. Souza Jr. had a good one hit earlier in the bat. He missed it. He fouled it off. You can see his frustration. It's another hanger here. Kind of jams himself. He hits it into no man's land. I know Marte runs well, but if you get a hard hit ball on the ground here, you could get your 3rd double play of the ball game. That would be huge in this situation.
Lays off, and it's 2-2. Marte has hit it to 8 double plays. In the air to right field. That's pretty well hit. Williams going back to the track. He has room, makes the catch. Yeah, there's one out. Time now for a Ram Truck Stump the Fans Trivia Quiz answer. All right, Ben, here we go. Who are the only 3 pitchers all time with a Cy Young, a Gold Glove, and a Silver Slugger award?
One I'm sure of, Zach Greinke.
Zach Greinke is correct. Congratulations for getting one, Ben.
The other 2, I'm going to go with 2 lefties, Mike Hampton and Tom Glavine.
All right, 2 good guesses. Incorrect. Now you have 1 lefty and 1 righty, both from the same team. Both played on the same franchise.
1 righty, 1 lefty.
Yeah.
Maddox?
No. Incorrect. 1 played for the Phillies and 1 grew up a Phillies fan.
1 lefty, 1 righty.
I have to admit, the one who grew up a Phillies fan, he grew up in Cherry Hill, I didn't think was a good enough hitter, but my memories, you know, sometimes needs to be jarred with some of those things.
Recent? Are they recent players?
No. Well, yeah. Bouncing ball to first base. Come on, Ben, you got to get it. Phillies have just turned their 3rd double play of the night. 3-6-1. And we got some tangling going on at second base. And the side is retired here in the 7th inning. We'll revisit our Ram Truck Stump the Fans Trivia Quiz answer. It's already a local Del Val Honda dealer. Visit DelValHondaDealers.com and buy Jefferson Health. Call 800-JEFF-NOW or visit JeffersonHealth.org. Luis Garcia got the 3rd double play of the night for the Phils. It's not the easiest one because he has to be on the receiving end of this throw.
He fires a strike. That's the key right there. Good one by Cesar Hernandez onto Luis Garcia on the first base, but the feed throw from Carlos Santana was right on the money. That made the transition for Cesar that much easier. Nice job of Luis getting over to the bag.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that if the Phillies had not turned that double play, you wonder if they would have said anything about Souza's slide at second base. It was late and he was getting up.
Well, he's been known to tangle it up a bit, Steven Souza Jr.
There's Jake Diekman in his 4th game for the Arizona Diamondbacks. As Cesar fouls it. All right, so we popped up the answer to the Ram Truck Stump the Fans Trivia Quiz. So you saw it. So it's Zach Greinke, which you had. It popped up.
Bulldog.
I guess inadvertently.
and Fernando Valenzuela.
Yep. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of Phillies prize pack. Cesar bunts. Diekman fields. Throws low. Right on by Goldschmidt. And Cesar will get to second base. He's going to be waved to third. The throw to third is way over the head of Escobar. And Cesar will be awarded home plate, and the Phillies lead it 2-0.
The Little League home run. There it is. You don't get to see it a whole lot, but ladies and gentlemen, you just witnessed it.
Well, it's going to go down as a single E1 and then an E9.
Not the best bunt here by Cesar, but Diekman kind of takes his time and then realizes double tap and then just spikes it. Souza Jr. trying to get them back up and then just airmails it over everybody.
I have to correct myself, Ben. It's a straight E1. That should be a hit in an E1, but it's a straight E1. And then an E9.
Wow.
I think that'll be changed eventually.
I think it looked like he would have beaten it.
I would agree with that. Well, it's 2-0 Phils here at the top of the 8th. Hoskins takes outside.
Take a look if he would have beaten it.
It would have been close.
Very close.
Two balls and one strike to Hoskins. Lays off 3-1.
You could see that setting up, though, couldn't you? When Diekman feel that ball, he patted it twice in his glove.
And ball 4. So Hoskins walks. And Nick Williams coming up. It's like that old commercial. Grandpa ran all the way.
I mean, he doesn't even think about stopping at second base. And he sees it going and saying, like, whew, thank goodness. I am gassed.
I would think that has to be changed to a bunt single eventually. You know, they have this appeal process where they appeal, and Major League Baseball then will look at the video and decide. I think that's one of those.
So again, it was just E1
and then E9
and then E9.
Off the hands, out towards shallow left field, and it drops. That is hit number 2 for Williams tonight.
A really good read there by Rhys Hoskins.
Yeah, because he was close enough to the second base bag that Peralta could not field it and then fire for a force play.
Sees Rhys shuffle. Has a chance to get down. Let me get close enough where I can get to second easily and also retreat to first base if he does catch it.
Well, now the Phils have a chance to add some more. First and second with nobody out. Toronto is warming up in the bullpen. I don't think there was any chance he'd be able to pitch tonight. Hitting in 2/3 last night, 3 hits. In the dirt. Nice job by Mathis. It's 1-1. Ziegler warming up for the Diamondbacks. This happens sometimes for Jake Diekman. He gets into these arm slots mechanically and he can't get out of it.
Well, with Jake, it's all release point. There's a lot that's coming at a hitter. Tall, lanky lefty.
Down the right field line. Balls and 2 strikes with nobody out here at the top of the 8th inning. As Drupal Cabrera is on deck. All 4. That'll load up the bases. And as Drupal Cabrera is coming up, well, they're going to stay with him.
Shortstop has Drupal Cabrera.
I'm surprised. Why have Ziegler up? I mean, he's a guy that can induce a ball on the ground. Sidewinding righty.
Yeah, the other thing too is Torey Lovullo I don't think knows much about Jake Diekman. This is usually where you just go get him and put somebody else in, because he has a tough time once he loses his arm slot and his release point to get it back during games. There's a good location on that fastball. 96. It's 0-1. Out toward right center field. That is well hit. Souza's going back. It is off the base of the wall. 1 run is in. Here comes Williams. He'll score. It's a 2-run double the opposite way for Cabrera. And the Phillies lead it 4-0.
Man, it's exactly why Matt Klentak went out and got this man. Phillies need some offense, as Dribble Cabrera providing some. What a good piece of hitting. Falling behind 0-2. Diekman making a mistake. The fastball up out over the plate. You try and pull this pitch, nothing but bad things can happen. He goes with it. And what a good piece of hitting here by Asdrubal to score 2.
And still nobody out with runners on second and third. The infield is drawn in for the Diamondbacks. And Odubel takes outside, 1-0.
What a big hit. Ball had some carry to it, didn't it?
Sure did. I was surprised he was able to get on top of it like that and drive it. Bouncer back to the mounds. A little sarcastic cheer from the fans here in Arizona. And here comes Torey Lovullo. He's going to go to the bullpen now to bring in the right-hander to face Maikel Franco. So the Phillies have added 3 runs against former Phil Jake Diekman. Here in the 8th inning. They have a couple more on with 1 out. We'll be back right after this.
High, if you know the answer, okay? DJ, let's go ahead and play song number.
Friday, August 17th, Old Dominion will be in town when the Phillies take on the New York Mets, and their post-game concert will take place right after that 6:05 first pitch. You can get tickets and field passes by going to Phillies.com/Old Dominion. Here's Maikel with runners on second and third, and Brad Ziegler in. Ziegler in his second go around with the Diamondbacks. They acquired him from the Marlins. His numbers, even though you see a 4.53 ERA, have been better over the last 4 to 6 weeks. Swing and a miss.
A pitch up, stay in the middle of the field right here.
He's trying to stay in there too on that slider, which starts behind you basically and then comes back over.
Michael hit a changeup off Ziegler a couple of weeks ago for a home run on a pitch that was in off the plate, and he kept it fair, hit through it, and drove it out of the ballpark.
Popped him up on the infield. Goldschmidt. And there are 2 outs. And Alfaro's coming up.
Catcher, Jorge Alfaro.
Alfaro is 0 for 3 with a couple strikeouts. It's hot shot to the left side, a base hit it to left field. 1 run is in. They'll hold up Cabrera. And Jorge Alfaro smokes one. And the 4th run of the inning for the Phils gives them a 5-0 lead.
That ball was smoked. Jorge will hit some of the hardest ground balls you're going to see. And that ball got through the left side of the diamond in a hurry.
Number 15, Andrew Knapp.
Well, it's nice to get that extra run home here and make it a 5-0 game.
Sure is, but how well did he keep the hardest ball gets through the infield? How well did he keep his head down on the baseball? Good piece of hitting.
Well, now Knapp will pinch hit, the 9th man to come to the plate in the inning for the Phillies. Fouled away. A bouncer right at Goldschmidt on one big hop. And the inning finally comes to a close, but the Phillies score 4 runs in the inning as Drupal Cabrera's opposite field double against Jake Diekman. One of the big blows. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's the Phillies 5 and the Diamondbacks nothing. First pitch. And all fans 14 and under will receive the IBEW Local 98 Jake Arrieta Snake nickname t-shirt. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. Phillies are on top 5-0 as we begin the bottom of the 8th inning. Aaron Loop will be the new pitcher for the Phils. Garcia goes 1 inning, allows 1 hit. And Loop, who's appeared in just 1 game since the Phillies picked him up from the Red Sox. And he will face Jeff Mathis to lead things off. It'll be Mathis and then Descalso's on deck. And the first pitch in there, it's 0-1. Breaking ball. Good pitch.
Aaron Loop does have the ability to throw that fastball in on righties and lock them up. We've seen him do it in spring training in the last couple seasons.
And a line drive out to left field. That'll be in for a base hit. A leadoff single. And Descalso's coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thank you, Tom. Time for the Major League Notebook presented by the University of Maryland, University College, and the Red Sox just keep on winning, trailing 3-1 today in the 8th in Toronto. J.D. Martinez launched a 3-run home run, number 34 in the season, to give the Red Sox the lead, but it wasn't enough because Craig Kimbrell blew his 4th save of the season, but no worries for the Red Sox. They just came back in the 10th inning, launched 2 more home runs, and won the game 10-7. It is their 80th win of the season. They are now 9.5 games ahead of the New York Yankees, who are in extra innings right now. They're in 13. And how about this for Bartolo Colon today? Gets win number 246. He now passes Dennis Martinez for the most wins by a Latin-born pitcher all time. So he is number 1 on that list now is Bartolo Colon. The 45-year-old just keeps on pitching. It was his 6th attempt to get number 246, and he finally gets it tonight for the Rangers, guys.
It is incredible. I mean, the story of Bartolo Colon, you know, whether he used any kind of substances previous to this run, I mean, the story of him is just incredible to see what he's been able to do at such a hefty age.
He has endured, that's for sure.
I mean, he's basically changed the way he pitched. You know, high 90s guy early on in his career. Now he's kind of like Zach Greinke is in some ways, but just much older.
Yeah. The fact that he's still taking the ball every 5th day is kind of remarkable.
Outside, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and miss. Got it with a slider. And 1 out.
Good one there.
Yeah, now Peralta's up, so they'll keep him in for an additional left-hander here.
Good slider. Starts in the zone. Ends up way out of it.
Yeah, the board calls it a cutter here, but it is a slider.
Yeah.
He has a fastball, a slider, a curveball, and a changeup. Out of Tulane University. And he delivers outside to Peralta. It's 1-0.
Green wave.
Green wave. Down the left field line, that'll be foul. Look out. Well, it was an impressive attempt.
That's cool. That seat folds right up into the wall. So it doesn't get in the way of a double.
What about the other seat?
That I don't know. That I can't help you with.
His should go up against the wall also.
Pretty cool.
You know, Ben, that's a Murphy seat. The lesser known cousin of the Murphy.
That's right. Murph still getting residuals before it. Back toward the middle, a base hit for Peralta. And now 1st and 2nd with 1 out. And Goldschmidt is coming up. And Arano is coming in. All right, so Luke faces 3 hitters, gets 1 out. And Victor Arano, who pitched in last night's ball game, is going to try to get 2 outs here. Pitching change for the Phillies with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Phillies on top 5-0. Your own insurance. Michael Barcat and Ricky Metallico are standing by to talk about Nick Pivetta and the way he battled through tonight and really was effective through 6 innings. Nick had some pretty good breaking stuff and an awesome fastball. They're talking about a Phillies win. They got Asdrubal Cabrera's hit that they'll touch on. Nick Williams' home run. Victor Arano is on to face Paul Goldschmidt with runners on first and second and 1 man down. And a first pitch slider, and it's 0-1. See the runners leading off. Another slider, and it's 0-2. I don't know if he should throw that one again.
No.
Out to center field. That sounded like it was hit pretty hard. Odubel is going to play it off the base of the wall. 1 run is in, and that's all for the Diamondbacks. It's 5-1. Could he have caught that ball?
It's hard because
Or did it hit the wall?
the facade of that center field wall is so tall. It's so high. But it looked like it just bounced straight down. I don't know if it hit the ground and bounced straight up.
It must have hit the wall underneath the yellow line. That must have been it.
Had to have.
Yeah, that had to be it. I thought this ball was gone off the bat.
It was loud, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, it hit the wall. So he played that well. So that's an RBI double for Goldschmidt. And it's now a 5-1 game.
Like Goldie was looking over at Peralta saying, you couldn't score on that?
Well, they had to hold up in case he caught it.
Once you see center fielder's numbers, it's a different story.
Oh, Franco right between his legs. A run will score. It's 5-2. That is the 9th error of the year for Franco.
Looked like Michael's feet got tangled up, like his footwork wasn't sound.
I was wondering if he was thinking about coming home, which he probably wouldn't with a 5-1 lead. But it was hit sharply. I wonder if that crossed his mind.
See, he
just missed it.
He just didn't have his footwork was screwed up. He started to go with his right foot forward. Now, if you're feeling a ground ball as an infield, you need to have your left foot in front of your right foot.
Well, Rick Kranitz is going out to talk to Arano. It didn't. Well, this is the ball from Goldschmidt. It didn't hit the wall. Wow. Yeah, I was wondering. I mean, I guess that's just his read on it. Because he could have caught it if he had gone back to it.
Just took the oddest of bounces. And
well, initially the way it went, I thought that it didn't hit the wall. But then when we saw the replay, I thought it did. Because I was wondering why he stopped unless he thought it was gone. And it obviously wasn't gone.
Because if it did hit the wall, it would have carried him back towards Odubel more.
So he could have caught it. Conceivably, he could have caught it.
Conceivably, yes.
That was a great camera shot, by the way, to show it. All right, so the meeting is over. Runners on first and third. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Now the Phillies up 5-2. And a fastball at the knees to Escobar, and it's 0-1. Ground ball back toward the middle, and that's going to be 2. As long as Santana hangs onto the bag, and he does. Another double play for the Phils. That's the 4th of the night, and the inning is over. 2 runs do score. 3 hits. 1 man left. Top of the 9th is upon us. It's 5-2 Phils. got a little dicey in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Phillies, though, turned their 4th double play of the night. Daniel Descalso stays in the ball game to play third base. That's a violent Philly fanatic. Tear him up. Nice drawing, though.
Cut off the head.
TJ McFarland will take over on the mound. As Cesar will lead it off here in the 8th inning. There's Descalso. Oh, 2 to Cesar. Neshek is warming up in the bullpen for the Phils, so he will pitch the 9th inning. Over to shortstop on one hop for Ahmed. And Cesar's out by a step and a half, and one away here in the 9th inning. And here comes Rhys Hoskins.
Left fielder, Rhys Hoskins.
Tom, can you help me out on that?
Yeah.
Diekman gave up 4 runs, but only 2 were earned.
Yeah, so they
because there are 2 errors in one play.
Well, the error that run is unearned.
Right.
So that's 1, and then the final out would have been recorded before the single by Alfaro, and that drove in the 4th run of the inning. So if you break down the inning, Cesar's out, ball would have been the first out. Then 3 consecutive, then a walk, a single, and a walk. Then the double.
Gotcha.
That would have scored a couple, but then the ground out to the pitcher would have been the 2nd out, and the pop out the 3rd.
Gotcha.
Before Alfaro came up. Two balls and 1 strike to Hoskins. Outside ball 4, and Hoskins walks for the 3rd time in tonight's ball game. And that'll bring Nick Williams up. By the way, I have to say that the 2 umpires behind home plate in the first 2 games of this series, Brian O'Nora, who's the 3rd tonight, and Shane Libensbarger, who's behind the plate, they both have been excellent with their strike zones. Hoskins with 3 walks tonight. Some people might be mad when they walk 3 times and not get a hit. But for Hoskins, he understands his strike zone. And he realizes, all right, Williams is hot behind me. Santana is after him, and then Cabrera. So if I get on, maybe I extend the life of the inning.
Right.
Get in scoring position.
I think earlier in the season, Rhys was going out of the strike zone a little bit more.
I would agree with you on that. And it wasn't overwhelming.
No.
I'm not sure if there was any correlation, where Gabe talked about Rhys discussing baseball with Joey Votto or even Goldschmidt earlier in the year. But neither one of those guys, they don't traditionally go out of the strike zone.
No.
And they put up good numbers all the time. Reese has talked about how, even though Goldschmidt's not much older than he is, that he looks up to him in the way he approaches the game. Swing and a miss by Williams. Second out of the inning. And Carlos Santana is coming up.
That's an awful good hitter to look up to if you're Reese Hoskins and Paul Goldschmidt.
Breaking ball outside. It's 1-0. Santana walked and scored his last time up. A hot shot out to shortstop, picked on one hop by Ahmed, and a throw to second base in time. A fielder's choice for Santana. Hit it right on the nose. No runs, no hits, and one man left for the Phillies. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth inning. The Phils on top by 3. And wound up losing in extra innings. Tonight it's Pat Neshek who'll try for his second save. Neshek a 0.79 earned run average. And he will face Steven Souza to start things off.
Leading off for the D-backs, right fielder, Steven Souza Jr.
Hey, I wonder if there's anybody else who's got ready to go.
Souza tonight is 1 for 3.
Just wanna go there.
Gabe gave us a homework assignment today. He said you guys should go back and see how many times a different pitcher pitched the ninth inning for us, particularly in a save situation or when we have a lead. He said I think we're at the point now where the fact that Neshek's pitching this ninth inning for the bullpen guys, the guys in the bullpen, it really isn't that big of a deal.
Right. And we asked him specifically, do you like him matching up against the top of this lineup? Peralta, Goldschmidt, Pollock. He said, honestly, I like him matched up against anybody.
Yeah, he said today, Neshek's 1 through 9. He has guys in his bullpen and he says, all right, that guy can match up 5, 6, and 7. Or 7, 8, 9. Out to center field. Playable for Odubel. Comes running in. And puts it away. 1 out here in the 9th inning. Chatting with Rick Kranitz. Kranny grew up in this area. Grew up in Peoria. Last night he had 14 family and friends here. Tonight 2. He said, but you know what? It's like coming home anytime I get here, even if nobody's in the crowd. And we said, well, why? He goes, the guy that drives the bullpen car, I played Little League with him. Said one of the guys that works in maintenance here. Is that what it was?
Yeah,
maintenance?
yep.
I played Little League with him. Said to Cranny, what was it like growing up here playing baseball in the heat? Said it was hot. As Odubel runs this one down, he got a nice jump. He did say the brand of baseball when he played here as a youngster, he said it wasn't the same as it is now. He said now it's like a lot of other places in the West. He goes, it's through the roof with talent. As Nick Ahmed will be the batter. He's 0 for 3. He's hit it to 2 double plays. That's one of the storylines tonight. 4 double plays. Oh. Ahmed bunts left to the mound. Neshek has it, throws to first in time, and the ball game is over. What a reaction by Pat Neshek. It's as if he was bowing to the first base bag as the Diamondbacks go down in order here in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Phillies win it 5-2 to take game 2 of the series. Watch these actions, Ben.
Like a cat. Like a cat. Get there, yes. Game over.
Phillies are now a game and a half up in the National League East over the over the Atlanta Braves. They win it 5-2 tonight. This was an all-around excellent win for the Phils. Their defense stepped up despite the error that they managed in the 8th inning. Our WB Mason deliveries of the game. We begin with Nick Williams' home run.
First pitch swinging here against Zach Greinke. Doesn't get all of it, but he gets enough of it. Put the Phillies up 1-0 at the time. And that lasted all the way to the 8th inning, T-Mac. 8th inning, this is a big 2-run double here off the bat of Asdrubal Cabrera. The right center field fence. Thought it had a chance to get in the pool there for a second. That scored a couple. All right, that's the thing of beauty. End up getting 5. There are your WB Mason deliveries of the game. And he's down on the field with Nick Williams. You got the scoring started. Murph?
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, as you mentioned, Ben.